Who were the major players during the Cold War? Have you ever wondered who the key figures were during the Cold War? This period was marked by intense political rivalry and ideological conflict. Let's break down the major players involved. At the heart of the conflict was the Soviet Union, the leading force of the communist bloc. The Soviet Union established communist governments in Eastern Europe, creating a network of satellite states. These nations were heavily influenced by Soviet policies and military power. The Soviet Union aimed to spread communism globally, often using its military might to maintain control over these regions. China was another significant player in the communist bloc. Initially, it was a close ally of the Soviet Union. However, by the early 1960s, relations soured, leading to the Sino-Soviet split. Despite this rift, China remained a powerful communist nation, supporting various communist movements around the world. Cuba also emerged as a key player after the Cuban Revolution in 1959. It became the first communist state in the Western Hemisphere. Cuba played a vital role in spreading communist influence in Latin America and was central during the Cuban Missile Crisis. On the other side of the divide was the United States, the main opponent of communism. The United States supported anti-communist governments and movements globally, often providing military aid or economic support. Its goal was to contain the spread of communism, especially in Europe and Asia. Western European countries, including the United Kingdom, France, and West Germany, aligned with the United States. They formed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO, to counter Soviet military power in Europe. There were also countries that chose not to align with either bloc, known as the Non-Aligned Movement. This group included nations like India, Egypt, and Indonesia. These countries often received aid from both sides, navigating the Cold War rivalry. Eastern European satellite states, such as Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and East Germany, were under Soviet influence. However, they occasionally resisted Soviet control, leading to events like the Hungarian Revolution and the Prague Spring. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 marked a turning point in the Cold War. It symbolized the weakening grip of communism in Eastern Europe. This event was influenced by internal reforms in the Soviet Union, particularly those initiated by Mikhail Gorbachev. Ronald Reagan's famous "Tear Down This Wall" speech also played a role in pushing for freedom and democracy. In the context of communism, the fall of the Berlin Wall represented a failure of communist ideology to maintain control. It signaled a shift toward democratic reforms and the eventual dissolution of many communist states. The Cold War was a complex period with many players, each contributing to the historical narrative that shaped our world today.